Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is Shunting Stories. So today we're going to look at my second ever model train layout since getting into the hobby of model trains. So this is my floating shelf submission for budget model railways. It's a small end scale floating shelf. Let's just go through a little bit of a summary of how I put this together and my ideas. So firstly, we purchased an inexpensive floating shelf. These are the ones that come with the brackets to go on the wall. Makes for a perfect little end scale baseboard. So firstly I started with some Pico set track. So this is a brand new track. I just designed the little shunting layout just freelance on basically the counter of the train shop. So got their ideas as I worked through it, keeping in mind this is all brand new to me. Then we looked at some rather than ballast or any other heavy sort of materials, I used some simple Metcalf papers and just some mid-grey cartridge paper from the art shop. So that was just all cut down to size. Then I looked at some different buildings. So if you saw my last video, you know I'm into sort of some vintage buildings. So what kicked the whole thing off in the subject matter was really this large timber factory. Or timber merchant in the corner there. So that came ready built. Got that second hand for around the $15 mark. And you saw in my previous video had some leftover little timber elements there from the cheap shop, so that brings in the theme, and then some little wood shavings there to give some texture to the base. Then I also got another little second hand building, like a little goods shed here, similar style. I like how it picks up on the grey of the baseboard there, so starting to get a theme together. And then on the right hand side we've got 3 buildings here. So this is a Pico set, these 3 here. So if you're starting out, these are great little buildings, super easy to build. This is exactly how they come, so sort of pre-coloured, super easy, and that was just perfect little scale for a little passenger shed there and a little goods shed there. Again on just some simple Metcalf papers, and just a little bit of cardboard there to give it a little bit of relief off the bottom. And then at the back there we've got another little cottage or a station house, and that was bought second hand. I think that's a Kestrel design. Then coming up to the front here we've got another little vintage signal box, so that's in nice condition there. That was bought second hand as well. Not sure on the brand on that one, but that's certainly vintage, either 70s or 80s. So that's nice for near the points there of the Pico track. And then we've got some little vintage little cantilever power poles over the top there. And then lastly on the right hand side we've got some little Pico buffer stops. They're just straight out of the kit, and then just coloured up a little bit with some red paint and some silver detail there as well. Also got a really nice back seam there, so that worked in perfectly with the scale of the layout. And lastly some little bit of some grass texture there just coming through the pavers of the paving from the Metcalf papers there to just give some relief and a little bit of texture and extra detail and follow through on the basis here of the power pole. So some nice little ideas coming. So that was my second layout, getting a feel for using different materials, a mix of both new and second-hand buildings. There's a little bit more to go on this. I'll add some little bit more detail, perhaps some little trucks and people throughout here. So I might give you an update once I do that, and then of course I might show some locos and rolling stock working on the shunting layout. So thank you for Budget Motorways for putting up the challenge of a floating shelf. It worked in perfectly for myself, learning the hobby and getting into it, and then using end scale as my basis because I have a small area to work in. So thank you for watching the video. Thank you for all those who have liked and subscribed over the last few. That's greatly appreciated, and I look forward to sharing some future ideas and purchases that I've made as I begin to work through the hobby as a beginner in model railways. Thank you.